What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to the Hangout Spot where you already know it's real talk, boxing talk, live from my man cave. It's your boy Johnny, and I'm your host for another edition of the Hangout Spot Live. This time, the Thursday night edition. We are in the building, and we actually have a treat. We actually have a treat for everybody because our show today, we were going to preview and predict Saturday's fight card, which is being headlined by Sebastian Fundora against Cordell Booker. This is the return of Sebastian Fundora. However, I have a special guest. I have 140-pound title contender himself, the technician, my guy, Jamaine Ortiz. He's going to be in the building in just a couple of seconds. He hit me up last minute. I've been trying to get him on for quite some time. So I want to get him on here, show him some love, make sure I introduce him to the community. But first and foremost, you know the deal. If you're watching this live on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button as it will help with the visibility of the channel. Our goal is to get this channel out into the algorithm of other boxing fans so they know we rock out every Tuesdays and Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you haven't subscribed to the Hangout Spot, make sure you do that. More importantly, tell a friend to tell a friend. And last but not least, you know the deal. The chat is open and the super chats are there. If you want to send a brother a donation, I will always appreciate that. But without further ado, man, coming off a big win in Orlando, Florida, I was in the building. A tough fought victory. But again, he did his thing, and now he puts himself in contention for a title at 140. So without further ado, I want to bring in my guy, the technician, Jamaine Ortiz. What's going on, my brother? Welcome to the Hangout Spot, man.
Yo, thank you. What's going on, Johnny?
Chilling, man. Chilling, man. Listen, I've been trying to get you on for quite some time, man, because you know I rock with you, man. I'm a big fan of yours. And I was in the building on Saturday, man. And that was one gutsy, gritty. I mean, you showed me a lot in that fight. But I'm not surprised, man. I'm not surprised because I don't know if you remember, but I did an interview after your last win before this one. It was at Caribe Royale. I believe it was your first fight with Box Lab. You won in impressive fashion. And then after that fight, when I interviewed you, just said, you know what? I'm not playing no more games with these dudes, man. Like I'm coming to fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what you did. But you fought a tough guy, man. This Alamo guy was tough, man. Tell me about that performance, man.
Um, it was a good performance, um, due to the camp I had, but I went in there with the mindset that I was just gonna kind of dog it out, you know. I remember right before I left for the fight, part of my team was like, fuck him up, this and that. I'm like, you know what, I might take one to get one. Uh, and that's kind of the mindset I went in. I just wanted to kind of somewhat fight, wanted to be aggressive and be action. My whole career coming up in the pros, I've always been an action-packed fighter. I was always very versatile in what I was able to showcase, and it didn't sit right with me what a lot of people had to say for the Teofimo fight. You know, um, I've always been a guy that throws a lot of punches, and I just fought that fight. That was my strategy for that fight. Uh, the same way how sometimes I fight orthodox for a full fight, sometimes how I go southpaw for a full fight. I just go in with a strategy, and that's what I do. Uh, but I didn't want people to forget who I really am at my core and who I've always been. And I always have that dog inside of me, to bang it out if I have to, and I can box if I have to. And people have seen it all. So, you know, I could do whatever I want in the ring anytime, and I just want people to know that.
And you definitely showed that. How do you rate this performance on Saturday?
Give it like a C plus.
Is it more because of something that you feel that you didn't do enough of, or was it because he was that tough of an opponent?
No, not that he was tough as an opponent. For me, he could definitely take a shot. Uh, in the ring and during the time, I think I felt I did worse than what I actually did versus watching it afterwards. When I watched it after I felt like I did pretty good. Like I'm giving that C plus based off how I felt, but watching it, maybe give it a B minus. You know, in the beginning, it got a little sloppy. I looked a little sloppy, but towards the end, in the middle round, I started to pick up a little bit and clean my shots up a little bit better. Um, my goal was to get him out of there. I didn't get him out of there. But like I said, the dude was tough. Uh, he's fought some tough competition. He's never been down before. Uh, but it was a good fight. I think the fans enjoyed it, the people enjoyed it, and that's all I care about too. Sometimes. Not that that's all I care about, but as a fighter and in the sport of entertainment, I want to make sure that the fans and the people who paid tickets and the people who flew out to come see me, that they get in their money's worth as well.
I agree. It was a very action packed fight, and you're a tough critic because it was a tough first round. Like he hit you with a good shot in the first
Mm.
round, and then it was like after that, you were the aggressor. You were fighting on the front foot. You kept backing him into the corner. Landing big shots. Like you were bringing the fight to him. And again, watching this fight live, I'm remembering the conversation I had with you when you said, "Yo, man, I'm not playing with my food no
No,
more." You know what I'm saying? Like I feel
no,
you feel like you left something on the table against Lomachenko. Well, not necessarily Lomachenko. I think you were more talking about the Teofimo fight. You felt like you left something on the table there and you wasn't trying to let it go to the judges' scorecards. Like you were actually, I saw in this fight, you were actually going for a stoppage, but sometimes you said, you got to credit the opponent, man. He's a tough
yeah,
dude. He's never been down, and he
yeah,
took a good shot. I mean, I agree. I thought it was a good performance. I would never have graded a C.
yeah,
I think it was, yeah, I agree. I think it was a high B, but it's only because I know that you can put it in another gear if
yeah,
needed. I've always been impressed with your skill set. That Lomachenko fight was kind of like your come out, because I've been watching you before that, but then after that, people around me who are casuals that didn't really know you, now they knew who you were.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I kept telling them like, "Yo, you don't know him, but I do." I'm
yeah.
not surprised he did what he did that night. Taking it back to the Teo fight, so if you could do that fight all over, like, why was that the game plan? Was that purposely because you were a little leery of his power?
Not even. For me, mentally, I knew he's weak. He's just weak mentally. And the game plan was he's gonna get frustrated. That's just something we knew, and that's something we've seen. That was a given. He's gonna get frustrated once he can't hit me. He's gonna get frustrated. Uh, Most anybody will get frustrated when they can't hit their opponent. And that boy didn't land not one shot on me. So um, and I kinda stuck to the game plan. I was listening to my corner. There's times I was in there where, I felt body to body, and I'm like, "I'm way stronger than this guy. I'm bigger than this guy." And there's times where I wanted to kinda listen to myself, but I'm a person who's very disciplined to the game plan, and, like, I just listen to my corner very well. And if they say, "Stick to what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing," then that's what I'm gonna do, even though there's times like, "You know what? I wanna risk it?" There's times you gotta take risk, and that's in me. I'm a natural risk taker. Doesn't matter who it is, who's the opponent. Everybody knows that all my opponents, like, I'll fight whoever and the best at any time. Um, and there's times in that fight I wanted to do it, but since it was like my first world title fight, and I felt like it was just a clean sweep because he couldn't land nothing on me, and I was able to counter some shots on him. I just thought I was up on the scorecards, and you know I know Teal has that sneaky power, even though I didn't feel it in the fight. That doesn't mean that it's not there just because I still haven't felt it. That doesn't mean it can come at any time. I know he's twitchy, uh, but I felt like I was stronger than him and I could have just manhandled him as well, just how I did Alamo.
So I remember after that, during that same interview, I asked you if you ever thought that you'd get a rematch, and you said, "Nah, you don't think that he wants to give you the rematch, but you said you want to force the rematch."
Yeah.
Tell me what you meant by that.
Yeah, that means like once I become a world title, like you said, I line myself up hopefully for a world title contention again in the next one. If I'm world champion, he's world champion, then there's times to unify. And if he doesn't want it, then maybe I unify with somebody else. And then, it just comes a matter of time where it's like, boy, I'm coming back. And again, it's gonna be my performances. It's how I dominate these other fighters, where people be like, oh, well, he ran for that Teofimo fight. He was moving around. It was a boring fight. Yeah, because I fought that way, but you guys want to see something else? I'm gonna show y'all something else, and I'll do it to him too. The same way how I did it. I outboxed him. I made him look like a clown. He couldn't touch me when I didn't want him to touch me. I did it. Y'all want to see me knock him out? Then I'll dog walk him too, if that's what you want to see, and I can beat anybody however I want. Boxing, them not touching me if I don't want them to touch me, or I could go tit for tat, and I'll be the bigger and stronger man in there as well. It's really up to me.
Mm. No, I love it. I love it. Like I said, I've seen you. I've seen another gear. I've seen a different person. From that, from not just what you've said to me, but how obviously how you looked in your last two fights. Um, this was your second fight with Box Lab Promotions, correct?
Yes.
So shout out to Box Lab Promotions because they're like family to me, man. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? They show me a lot of love. They're the first ones that actually gave me a first credential to a fight in Orlando.
Okay.
So now I'm a regular there. So shout out to them. When I found out that they had signed you, I was ecstatic because I've always been a fan
Okay.
of yours.
Yeah.
But how did that relationship come about with you and Amari?
Um, well, the first time I fought at the Caribe Royale was on a Showbox card. I was the main event on Showbox when I faced Nahir Albright there back in I think 2022.
That was in February of 2022, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 2022 of February. That's the first time I fought there. And then I think I've been there a couple times after because my family's from Orlando, well, lives in Orlando. I've gone to Orlando plenty of times, and you know, just me and my team and communicating like, what's next, what's going on. Uh, I'm trying to get a fight. I'm trying to stay active. Those months going by where, I didn't have a fight lined up, and I'm like, I gotta stay active. I gotta stay busy. I knew Box Lab they had the thing with the zone. I'm like, that's a good platform to be on the zone, and we just made it happen. Like whatever it is, I just want to stay busy, and that's what I'm doing. I fought in November, I fought again, and hopefully I fight again by the summertime. And my goal is to stay busy, stay in everybody's face, and keep applying that pressure, letting them know I'm not going nowhere. I'm not hiding. Ain't nobody gonna hide from me because I'm coming, and I'm staying busy.
No, for sure. Actually, that's what you told me. You said next year, it's going to be a big year for me.
Yeah.
Because when you want to get a certain amount of fights in, and you want to put yourself in immediate contention for a title shot. At the time, I remember Rayo was the champion, and you were like, "I'm coming for Rayo." But now, obviously, Gary Antoine Russell, put together a spectacular
Mm.
performance, and took Rayo's WBA title. Is that a fight that you like in the future? I think stylistically, that would be a great fight.
Yeah, man. I think I would love to fight all these guys. You're talking about Russell, right?
Russell, yeah, the one that beat
Yeah.
Rayo.
Yeah, I fought Russell in the amateurs, like I fought Teo in the amateurs, I fought Hitchens in the amateurs, and these are all guys that are in my division and world champions at the moment, and it's just a matter of time. And it's just a matter of time. So it's nothing that I haven't seen coming. I knew all these top guys that I grew up in the amateurs. We were all great fighters. When you see somebody over and over and over and over again at the nationals, that there's just something about you guys that are elite, right? When you can make it over and over again at the finals and at the top. And here we are again at the top of the sport in the professionals.
That's crazy, man, how that works out. You're right, man. You guys are all basically the top 140-pound division is on fire right now, man.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
division to be at. There's a lot of noise, big guys,
Well,
but
it's really the group of guys. Let's not even say the division because when it was 135, it was because Ryan, Devin, Tio, it's the same group of guys, right? Tank, all these same group of guys that in one division where they're like, oh, 135 is on fire. They move up to 140, now it's on fire. The guys
true.
move up to 47, it's gonna be on fire. It's not
Yeah.
really, yeah, because we moved up to the division, but it's the people that's in the division as well, and our bodies keep on growing, so we're gonna keep on catching up to each other because we're the same age, and it's only our bodies keep on growing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 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 for sure, for sure, for sure. But taking it back a step before we talk a little bit more about the division, was Vasily Lomachenko your toughest fight?
Yeah,
Is it because why is that? Because I know that you guys there was some familiarity with you too, right? Well, you were one of his sparring partners, right?
yeah. I would say tough, not physically, but mentally in the
So,
fight.
so I want you to
Lom-
elaborate on that for my
yeah,
viewers. What
yeah.
do you
Hold
mean
on,
by
before
mentally?
just so I could break it down first.
Okay.
Lomachenko's been a guy I've been watching since I was an amateur. I used to imitate him. I used to just, he was one of the guys that was like, he's the man. He's the guy I'd watch everything of. His training, his amateur fights, I'd watch it all. So I knew all his little ticks, all his little movements, everything. So when I went to go spar with him, it was somewhat not difficult because I knew what was coming because I've watched him so much. And I never watched any other fighter the amount of how I've watched Lomachenko. So, and I was so confident. When you have so much confidence, the guy you're fighting, physically you're in shape. Uh, so physically in the fight to me, it wasn't really difficult because I believed I was gonna win. I knew what I was gonna do. I knew how I was gonna play out. Um, but I would say mentally, because it's such a thinking game with him, you gotta be so many moves ahead. And that's what started to get fatiguing for me. With a lot of other fighters, they're basic, they don't switch it up. Uh it can be easier to time them. Uh they don't shift or move as much. They don't got so many tools in the tool
Right.
bag that you gotta think about all these other things. Right? So you're good with just thinking maybe two moves ahead. But with Lomachenko, you couldn't move. I couldn't think two moves ahead. I had to think 4 or 5 moves ahead. For the viewers, for to get an example, right? He's a southpaw. I'm an orthodox. I throw the jab, but I'm here expecting him to parry my jab to throw over a jab, but he's probably not doing that. So and then he's waiting for something else, but I know what he's waiting for. So it's like 4 or 5 moves ahead. It's not just, I'm waiting for him to jab, parry my jab, so I'm gonna come with that. That's 3 moves ahead.
Mm.
But I already know he's thinking about me pulling back to throw that right, and what he's gonna move and shift to his right. So I'm gonna have to shift with him and try to catch him with a left uppercut. That's already 5 moves ahead that I'm thinking on step
Wow.
one. So I think that's what got fatigued by like the 10th, 11th round is thinking all the many moves ahead, right? Because if I was just to think 2 moves ahead, like, oh, I'm gonna jab him, I'm gonna pull back and catch him with the right. I don't think it was gonna work because he's too slick and he's waiting for the counter as well.
Wow.
So it was that part that got fatigued of thinking 5, 6 moves ahead every single time. So whenever that little moment of action happened, is all right. Now what's the next 6 steps? And
Wow.
playing out those 6 steps every single time.
See, this is
At
the
least
type
that's
of
how it
shit.
was for me mentally.
No, this is the type of shit that I love to hear, and I love my viewers to hear that because they don't know what it's like to be in the ring. It's a thinking man's game. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? And again, like you said, I a lot of times we as fight fans will say, well, this guy is applying that physical pressure, but he's also applying that mental pressure. And a lot of people don't know what the hell mental pressure means.
yeah,
That's exactly what you just broke down.
yeah. Yeah,
You know,
there's that mental pressure. There's some guys where you don't gotta think as much, where sometimes where you dog walk somebody where maybe they might not have as much pop in their hands, and you be like, you know what? I know you're gonna stay there regardless. So, I might just do one pull back and catch you because you're not doing many things. I don't gotta think too many steps ahead, you know. Like for my last opponent, to be honest, I don't have to I don't get fatigued mentally with a lot of other guys because a lot of guys don't move as much. They don't got so many tools. They do the same things over and over again.
he wasn't hard to find. Right.
And there's times where it's like, all right, it may look uglier, right? I probably got hit more there than I probably did with other fighters, but I get hit because I want to, in the sense of like, all right, I'll take one, like come here, whatever, let's go. You know, get some punches on the gloves for me to hit you with a big cocotazo, that's what I might just do. But just because I know you'll be there to take it, you know?
Yeah.
So it depends. That's why I think, fighting elite fighters make you more elite. When you fight people on a lower level, you kind of stoop to the level sometimes because you just be like, regardless, no matter how I look or what I do, you're not beating me,
Sure.
regardless. There ain't nothing you can really do because I can adjust and I'm gonna make it. I could do something that's just gonna take the round away because I could do it at any moment if I have to. Because you don't got nothing, and I'm just effing around or just figuring things out.
Yo, that's one hell of a breakdown, man. I got my man Eddie Alvarez in the building. What's going on, champ? Thanks for joining us, man. Salute to you as well. I am here with the technician, Jamaine Ortiz, title contender at 140. Garcia, what's up, Johnny? What's up, Ortiz? Showing some love from the
So
chat. Wow, that was one hell of a breakdown. You mentioned Southpaw, and I wanted to ask you that question too, because you pretty much fought this last fight in the Southpaw stance,
yeah,
and you basically fought the entire Teofimo fight in the Southpaw stance. Is that something that you're looking to do going forward, or is that just a fight to fight game plan, depending on your opponent?
man, I've been fighting, switching from orthodox to righty since I was 8 years old in the amateurs. So it's nothing new for me. Um, I do a fight by fight basis. Every fight calls for a different game plan. I find a weakness in an opponent, and if I feel like he can't fight with the southpaw, maybe I just go southpaw because he doesn't know how to fight with the southpaw. If he
Right.
knows how to fight southpaws, then I might stay at the righty.
I think that threw Teo off. I don't think he was
Mm,
expecting you to fight Southpaw.
Probably not. I think they expected me to bang and fall into a trap of a little bit more of a tit for tat. Because that's what they've seen in the past.
Hmm.
Because that's the type of fighter I've been. Um, or maybe just switch a little bit as a southpaw, not so much because in the Lomachenko fight, I was righty and I only switched southpaw for a couple moments.
Right. That's
For
what I'm
the
saying.
for,
You were basically righty
yeah,
the most of the
yeah,
fight.
yeah, for the Jamel Herring fight, I was about 60-40 southpaw majority of the time.
Got you. But which one do you prefer?
I
Which one
can't,
are
I
you
can't,
most
I can't, I can't, I can't say that to y'all
comfortable?
because then y'all try to throw me off. I can't let you know which one I prefer.
I get
Just
a
know,
record scratch for that. I ain't
just
trying to
know.
set you up.
Nah, I know, but it doesn't matter. I prefer them both. I could do them both.
That's what's up. That's a great
If I
answer, man.
preferred one over the other, I would stay one more than the other. But you guys don't know how I'm coming,
That's
and
what's
and
up.
that, and that's another thing. I got some shit for saying this on Twitter, but a lot of fighters, they how they come in, and I said this on Twitter. I'm like Errol Spence, he has the same style. Errol Spence, how he's coming, his strengths, he got that good jab, he goes in there, he's not gonna be on the back foot, you know, moving around the ring, not
Yep.
so defensive. He got his hands up same way every single fight. Not saying that he's not good because you don't have to be switching it up to not, to be good. You can do the same thing over and over and be great, if you master
Right.
that. But I put that on Twitter, you know how Errol Spence is coming. But a guy like me, you might not know how I'm coming. A guy like Terence Crawford, you don't know how he's coming.
Right. Right.
Crawford does it too. Righty, southpaw. He can outbox you from the back. He might stick it to you. You know.
Hmm.
I bet he threw everybody off when he fought Errol Spence and just came out as a southpaw.
Yeah, absolutely. Usually he switches. He'll come out orthodox and he'll
And he
switch.
didn't.
Yeah.
So again, and that's what I meant. Is some
Hmm.
fighters you see it coming. There's some fighters you're not gonna see it coming.
Right. 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 No, that's what's up. That's what's up. I think your nickname is perfect for your fighting style because you're a thinker. You're a
Mhm.
technician in there. Is that a
Mhm.
nickname that you incorporated as young, or did that come, right before you turned pro?
Not
When did
before
that?
I turned pro. I probably had like maybe like 6 fights in, 6 pro fights in,
Okay,
7 pro
gotcha.
fights in.
Did
I was a
someone give you
carpenter. I
that,
was
or
so
did you?
I don't know if you know Jose Rivera, a former
Mhm.
world champion, 3-time world champion, Jose Rivera. But he's from my side, and we was training one time together. Um, and everybody was always trying to force nicknames on me, like, "Yo, you got to be the Ham, you got to be something." I'm like, I never had a nickname. I didn't have a nickname growing up as a kid. Not a family nickname. Like, I'm just Jermaine,
They call
right?
you Jermaine, like they call you Tito Junior. You know
No,
how it
no,
is.
no,
We
no, no.
Spanish, bro.
Yeah,
Everybody,
yeah.
we have
I don't know. I
nicknames.
had no nickname, no nickname, no Junior, no Tito, no Nene, no nothing. I had nothing. But I was in the Carpenters Union. Um, and I've always been into the stock market, into trading. So And as my boxing style, I always felt like I was very technical, the technician. I'm
Mhm.
like, I think that fits, that fits not only in my boxing style, but also my personal life and who I am, because a technician is somebody who is very skilled or an expert in their craft. And that's what I felt like I was in anything I did, even outside the ring.
Dope. Facts, facts, facts. And I just want to go back on something you said because you mentioned cocotazos. I got a lot of those growing up, so I know exactly what the hell those are, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Mom Duke was the expert, man. I was rough growing up,
yeah.
but like she says now today, she's like, you're a good boy now. So those cocotazos actually paid off well. I know you got to get out of here in a couple minutes. I just
No,
got a couple
no,
more
it,
things.
it work. It works sometimes. Sometimes, when you grow up being the knucklehead, you come out to be the good kid because you everything goes by phases. And some kids that grow up too good, they end up being knuckleheads when they get older.
Very, very true. I'd rather be a knucklehead young than at
Yeah.
this age. That's for sure. Like I said, I know you got to go. I just got a couple of more. Your descent. You were
Mm.
born in Worcester, Massachusetts, but your descent. You're Dominican. Are you half Dominican, Puerto Rican?
Have Dominican, have Puerto Rican.
Okay, okay, I got you. Yeah, yeah. I knew you were Dominican. I just found out recently, to be honest with you, talking with
Oh
Ness.
yeah. Oh yeah. What did you think I was? Just full
I
Puerto
thought you were
Rican?
just no. I thought you were just Dominican.
Oh, just Dominican. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I thought you were, and it's
Mm.
crazy because looking back at some of your fights, you actually wore, both flags. I think you
Yeah.
wore both flags on your trunk. I rock, Ness is my guy, and I co-host on the Boxing Voice,
Yeah.
and I do some work for him. So he's Dominican. So we were talking
Yeah.
about Dominican fighters, and he said, yeah, but Jermaine is half Puerto Rican, like you, and I was like, really? Ah, I didn't know. I thought he was Dominican.
If a lot of my
So,
fights, I would come out with the flags,
yeah, yeah.
both flags on my shorts and stuff like that.
No, I did research, and then I
Yeah.
started looking at some of your. Oh, how the hell did I miss that?
Yeah.
And 140, are you comfortable there? Do you see yourself staying there for a while
Where?
at 140?
Yeah.
Like you're able to make the weight easy, so you see yourself there. Okay,
You know
so that's
what? I want the big fights. I get my world title. Or maybe I get one defense. If I don't get that rematch with Teofimo, I just go to 147, so I could fight Devin, Ryan, get the bigger fights. I'm here with the big fights, fighting the best. I just want to make boxing great. Uh, I want to give the fans what they want, the people what they want, and just be part of history. And the only way to do that is just fighting the best. Being multi-division world champion, multiple time champion, and that's what I want, man. I just want to chase all the opportunities I can and not have no limits, not trying to protect myself and stay on the easy route. Just give it to me. I'm a dog.
no doubt, no doubt. Let's play hypothetical. Hypothetical. If you could play promoter and you could pick your next three fights, who would those three fights be?
Ooh, I'll probably pick Russell,
Mm-hmm.
Tio, Haney.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Hitchens.
And I just go to 47.
Okay.
Like I said maybe two fights. Just once I'm world champ, maybe one more fight to unify, then I bounce.
That sounds good. There's always been a fight that I wanted you to get because I just want you to cook this dude. There's just something about this guy, George Kambosos.
Oh yeah, that one too. I
Oh
like that fight.
my God. Listen, I don't hate on fighters, champ. I don't. I give every fighter respect. But there's something about him, man, that just, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe he's
Mm,
the way he talks or whatnot. I would love for you to get that fight. He's fighting this weekend,
mm,
man.
yeah.
And
I
supposedly,
love
if
it.
he
I think
wins,
that would be a great fight.
yeah, man, I think you would cook him, dude.
Yeah, I will. I will.
I would love for you to get that fight. I think if he wins, they're putting him in line for Hitchens. It's crazy to me how, this guy continues to get opportunities at title shots. And, you know, I'm just gonna keep my comments to myself when it comes to George Kambosos because really I'm not that dude, man. I
Yeah,
show every fighter love. I have my favorites, obviously,
yeah,
like we all do. But nah, man, I think your future's bright. When do you see yourself back in the ring? You said the summertime.
yeah. Summertime.
Could it be for a title eliminator at least?
I believe at least it'll be a title eliminator.
Perfect. Is it going to be back at Orlando so I can?
I really have no clue, man. If I say anything to you, I'm just lying and guessing.
No, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Listen, I just got one question from my chat here, and that's a two-parter. Who got the best out of you, Loma or Teo? And what did you learn from both fights?
Tio didn't get nothing out of me because what did he do? Nothing. So obviously Loma out of the two, if that's the question. What's the other question?
And what did you learn from both fights?
From both fights, I learned F the decision, knock him out.
That's the way to drop the mic, and that's exactly what you told me. And this is why I'm so excited to see you continue to fight, because you have a totally different mindset, and you're ready, man.
Yeah.
You're ready to take that next step, that championship step. And I'm always rocking with you, man.
Thank
I'm
you,
always
appreciate
rocking.
it.
I wish I had more time. You got to come back on here, man, when you got
I'll
some more
come
time.
back. I'll come back.
You definitely got to come back on here, because I'm gonna tell you, anybody that comes to the Hangout Spot, you are considered family, bro.
Appreciate it.
So you
Appreciate
family now. You've been a part of Ness's family at the
it.
Boxing Voice, but now you're a part of the Hangout Spot family as well. So I
Appreciate it.
definitely got to get you back. That way we can do a little bit better. I'm not pressed for time, but I
No,
definitely appreciate you coming on, man.
no problem, man. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you, man.
Got my daughter. I gotta put her to bed. She got school in the morning and
No,
stuff like
champ.
that.
Thank you for giving me time. You didn't have to do that, and you did. So I
No
appreciate you,
problem.
man. We'll chat it up, and we'll get back up in here, and hopefully, like I said, when your next fight gets announced, I'll bring you back up here, and we'll talk about that.
For sure. 100. Thank you.
All
Have
right,
a good
man.
night.
All right, you too, man. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The technician, Jamaine Ortiz, was in the building, man. I appreciate him last minute. I had been hitting him up, to come on. And, we agreed that we could potentially do something this week. But, he's busy. He's just coming off a victory. So for him to come here and give me some time, I definitely appreciate that, from the bottom of my heart. And obviously, if you're just joining right now and you did not get a chance to see it, I just had the technician Jamaine Ortiz in the building, fresh off of his victory this past week at Orlando Caribe Royale. I was there. He's my dude. He's my dude. I'm a big fan of his, and I think the future's bright. They're looking to get him a title eliminator in the summertime, and hopefully a title shot. 140 is popping right now, and he's a major player in that division. So, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But yeah, man. I want to get my man up in here. If you're ready, I got my man Thomas Cornflake LaManna. He's gonna be joining me, man. He's gonna be joining me, man, because I wanted to preview. Well, not wanted to. We're gonna preview this weekend's fights, man, because we got fights this weekend, man. We got fights this weekend. Without further ado, I want to bring in my man Cornflake LaManna. What's going on, champ? You can't hear me. I can't hear you either. You might have to log out and log back in. Try jumping out. Try just Xing out, and I'll resend the link. Oh, he can't hear me. Log out and jump back in. All right. Let me shoot him a text and let him log out and come back in. But if you are watching this live on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button, as it will help with the visibility of the channel. There you go. Yeah. Something's going on. He was backstage for a little bit, and I want to apologize to him because I was originally going to have him on at 9:00 so he can join me. We could break down the fights. And again, Jamaine Ortiz, sent me a message last minute that he wanted to jump on. And, I didn't want to miss the opportunity to get him on for my viewers. Jamaine Ortiz, the technician, is in the building, or was in the building. If you didn't check it out, make sure you check it out. It's after this episode, this episode will be at the Hangout Spot on the YouTube channel. Let's try this again. Cornflake LaManna, what's going on, my brother? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, what's up, baby?
There you go, bro. What's going on, man? Sorry, man. Sorry I had you backstage for a little while. That was probably the reason why you couldn't hear me and I couldn't hear you.
No, it's all
But
no, bro. I be nonstop working, bro. I had you on mute. I was cool. I was just chilling. I was doing my shit.
Nah, that's what's up, man. Jamaine hit me up last minute to to jump on. I'd been trying to get him on since his victory. This past weekend, he won by decision, and obviously now he's going to be a major player for a title at 140. And if you, I don't know if you heard some of the interview backstage, but hopefully they're looking to get him into a title eliminator in the summertime, and then potentially a title shot. At some point after that. He's with Box Lab Promotions. They're like family to me, and he's in a hot division right now. He's in a hot division, so we'll see what happens. But yo, champ, talk to me, brother. Thank you for coming on,
What's up,
man.
bro? Yeah, bro. Nah, we chilling, man. Just another day, bro.
I got to give you a shout out, man. You my guy, man. I
Thank you, bro.
love having you on. The last time I had you on, you were driving and cursing people out. People were knocking on your window for autographs.
Yeah, right. That's crazy.
It was eventful. So I'm glad that now you're chilling, you're at home. You could kind of kick back, and we could talk some boxing, man, because there's a lot of shit going down this weekend. There's been a lot of shit that's been going down this week, man. Right. And first and foremost, for my viewers, again, I'm here with middleweight, man, the guy, WBA. Is it the gold title, right? Do you still have it? Because you told me that you were going to toss it away.
Yeah, I mean, I still got it. I mean, yeah, I mean, I still got it, but I mean, we'll see what happens. When the new ratings come out in a couple of weeks, we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's box. It's not what you box is not what you know. It's who you know. So
well,
it's gotta go with the flow.
Well, absolutely, because we touched on a bit on the business of boxing on our last interview. If you guys haven't checked that out, man, make sure you check it out at the Hangout Spot. And while you are there, subscribe and tell a friend to subscribe, and tell them to tell their friends to subscribe, because this is how we're doing it up in 2025 at the Hangout Spot. We got guests, we break down fights, we got champions, we got Cornflake in the building, the guy with the best boxing nickname ever in the history of boxing. And we talked about the origin of that, which I thought was pretty dope. But let's keep the chat going. Let's keep the chat going, because we're gonna start talking about fights. But before I get into Saturday's card, champ, did you get a chance to see what occurred yesterday on the Boxing Voice with Gabe Rosado and Bill Haney?
So I did. I saw the the highlight of it. But I was on. I mean, as you know, like I said, bro, I don't really be doing nothing, but I'll be on YouTube, right? And if I'm working or in the gym, whatever, I'm on YouTube. I'm on YouTube washing dishes. I'm just like I'm just a weirdo. And I heard it, man, and it was pretty funny.
It was crazy.
I'm a whole, I mean, there's a couple of things Gabe.
No sound on his end. I hear you perfect.
Right.
Hey, people in the chat, can you chime in? Are you able to hear Cornflake LaManna, or can you just hear me? Because I can hear him perfect. Now, we were having that issue before, but I hear him. So if anybody else in the chat is having an issue, in fact, let me shoot out a text here. I want to make sure that you're not talking and I'm the only one talking. Okay, so somebody said I was hearing, but now it's gone. I'm not sure what the heck is going on here. Give me a second. Yeah, we need to get this right. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me jump out. I'm gonna resend the link.
All right.
And then use that link.
All right, bet.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so bear with me. Bear with me. We are going to try to get my man Cornflake back. We're having some technical difficulties, but this is how we do, man. We face adversity, and we just we make adjustments. So just stand by. But if you're watching this on YouTube, smash that like button. We got to get this out into the algorithm of other boxing fans so they know we rock out Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. and we are thinking about doing a third show. And I'm gonna have some more information on that. We can't do it next week, but probably the week after that, we might go 3 shows. So I'll keep you guys posted. If you're not following me on IG, you're not following me on Twitter, make sure you do that. The handles are up on the top. And more importantly, subscribe, hit those notifications. Hit those notifications obviously as well with YouTube so that you know I'm going live, because we're gonna start doing stuff at the spur of the moment. You know what I mean? So let me see if I can get my guy up in here now.
Come on, Daddy.
Yo.
I can hear you perfect. Can we get a sound check from the chat, please? Now, Garcia said sound is good, but he said that before I got you out. Can we get a sound check? Okay, so supposedly you're good. You're good. So let's
good.
yeah, you're good. You're good. Pink Car says you are good. So if she says you're good, you are good. Eddie Alvarez says you are good. So yeah, so you got a chance to see that, right? I mean, these two just went back and forth. It looked like
it was like the highlight, and yeah, man. Look, you know what I mean. I'm not gonna do a sucker shit. I don't really fuck with Gabe Rosado like that.
No doubt.
So I'm like, I'm gonna keep that to myself. But yeah, it is what it is. They're both speaking facts, I think, right? So I guess I didn't really hear the whole thing. It's just, I think it's. I mean, look, like I think it's corny. Look, Gabe's right. He did have a different type of career. Something I'm saying, it's not ideal. He did fight a lot of people, but he also lost damn near every fight, right? So it's like, you know what I mean? So I can see where Bill is coming from. But there's two sides to the coin. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like I said, I'm gonna just hold off on that because I don't really, you know what I mean? It's not that I don't like him. It's just he weird. He was mad tight at one time, and
really
he got big, he got money, and it's like he got Hollywood. He weird. So
okay, all right. No, I can respect that. It was tough. I was on the panel, and it was like we were just sitting there watching at one point, like, damn, what is going on? Like, is this ever gonna stop? And then all of a sudden, Bill got cut off, which was good. I guess his phone service got cut off, and then Gabe kept on, and we didn't get him back on.
But what was Bill really saying about him? Like, what was he really saying?
He was defending Devin. So what happened was, and I believe Gabe said that episode, because he's got a new podcast now with Abner Morris called, I believe, Mi Gallo. And he put out a clip of that episode, I believe it was a few days ago, basically saying that he thought that Jose Ramirez wasn't a good comeback fight for Devin. Coming from that Ryan Garcia. And then he said, it was a train wreck. The Ryan Garcia fight was a train wreck. He got, took a lot of punishment. And then he called, how everybody with the jokes with Devin Haney, they're saying, he has no chin.
Yeah.
So Devin Haney took offense to that and went back at him at Twitter because, this is how these young fighters do today, right?
I hate Twitter. I haven't been on Twitter. I just hate it. It's just so whack.
It's because you're old school, champ. You know what I'm saying? But this young generation, like, you could literally put together a top 5 pound for pound list on Twitter for these fighters, man. I mean, I'm not even lying. So anyway, he went back and forth with Gabe on Twitter. They went back and forth, had their words. So Ness brought that up. So he was giving his perspective on it. I guess Bill was listening. So Bill was like, yo, I want to come up in there. I guess he wanted to defend his son. So it became a shouting fest, a bunch of F-bombs, cursing. I mean, God, if the viewers, if you guys didn't see it, check it out on the Boxing Voice on YouTube. It's last night's episode. Yours truly was on the panel. And Bill Haney went back and forth with Gabe Rosado over the comments of Devin Haney. And it was animated. It was pretty crazy. But I just wanted to know if you were there, because I know you shot us a message. You wanted to jump on, but he was getting Gabe on. That's why.
Yep. But so just without watching it whole, like, I guarantee this is how it went. And by the way, I'm going to watch it because I'm sure it was comedy. And I just want to watch that part, right? I'm sure it's.
We're good. Yep.
Word. I'm sure it was comedy. But what's shitty is, I already know Bill was probably on some kind of like what I just said, Gabe, like, you done got beat the fuck up 17 like a million times. But he's a warrior. I'm not trying to come at him, right? But it's like Devin had one bad, you know what I'm saying? And I don't wish, bro, I don't, as crazy as it sounds, I don't wish no bad beat down on nobody for because it's shit's like shit's crazy. And I can already tell, like, you know, like Gabe, like, Gabe, I think he was just giving his opinion, right? Like I heard him say, you know, I'm just giving my professional, honest opinion. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But Gabe kind of set himself up for that one, though, bro. Like he kind of set himself up because, you know, and what was true about it, you know, like the one real thing he did say is he's not ashamed of his records, not ashamed of his career, which is dope.
He did say that, yeah.
He did say that, right? So, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I mean, he got tough skin. It's like people, you know what I mean? And then I saw Bill was like talking about how Gabe lost to like a 12-17 dude or something like that early on in his career. And yeah, I mean, facts. That shit was probably like what 15-something years ago. That shit was mad long ago. So I see it from both sides. I just think Gabe set himself up for epic failure because of obviously his career and just how it went or how it is, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But he's had to make over $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Collectively and throughout his career. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I don't know his bread, but you know what I'm saying? Of being a good real, you know, a good fighter, a real fighter. So can't fault him for it. Yeah, I mean, it is. Yeah. So it is what it is. Everybody has a different path. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's story is different.
Yo, for sure. One of the Garcia. What's going on, Garcia? Thanks for joining us back. All Rosado said was that Ramirez was a dangerous fight for Haney. Why Bill mad? Well, I mean, you know, you gotta look at you know, Bill Haney, and they've taken a lot of criticism, you know, since that Ryan fight, and you know, Bill Haney went at Todd Grisham, who was one of the zone hosts. You know, in that last press conference, he felt like, you know, he was disrespecting Devin Haney. They were giving, you know, Ryan Garcia all this praise. Meanwhile, you know, Bill Haney was saying, you know, he's a cheater, he's a drug cheat, and all this other stuff. So, I mean, listen, you know, Bill's his father, you know, so he's going to take up for his son. You know, his son went at, you know, Gabe Rosado, you know, defended himself. You know, they went back and forth. It is what it is. I just thought it was very, very animated. And I just wanted to get your take on it because one of the questions that I asked Bill after the smoke cleared and Gabe was gone, and Bill came back was, well, Bill, you know, I'm a journalist, right? Or content creator or podcaster, whatever you want to call me, right? But, you know, I talk about boxing and I give my opinions, right? And we critique. So what is an acceptable level? Because it's almost like, and correct me if I'm wrong, champ, today's generation is a lot more sensitive to that type of opinion or criticism. And the reason why I tell you this is because I totally get it. If you're going to sit there, and I don't do this. I do not do this. I despise people that do this. Oh, this guy's a bum. You know, he's trash, blah, blah, blah. You know, he got whatever. He got washed. I don't do that. So there's a right way and a wrong way to do it, right? But there's also fight. So I get that I get it. If fighters want to get mad over that, I get it because one thing I don't like, and I will walk away from somebody, is if they call a fighter a bum.
Yeah.
I can't rock with that because no fighter is a bum. Now there's different skill levels, but anybody who laces up a pair of gloves and gets in the ring and basically risks their lives for entertainment, there's no way you could call them a bum. You know, and that's a word that's thrown out there. I don't like it. So yes, if we do that, I totally get that they get offended, but we're like, you know, listen, I just don't think it was his best performance. You know, the judges had it a draw. I had him losing. And they still get offended over that. People have cut Ness off because of that.
Wait, who had a draw?
No, I'm just saying a hypothetical.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm just giving a hypothetical. Like there's fighters that will cut you off. They'll block you because you think they lost, even though they think they won.
Yeah.
So you know, I guess my question is this generation of fighters, are they soft? Are they
pussy?
Okay.
Pussy, bro. Yeah, I mean, you know.
So I'm trying to be.
I'm not the toughest. Look, I'm not like the toughest dude. I'm not like no big bad wolf, nothing like that. I just think, yeah. I mean, social media. You know what I mean? You go to war on that Twitter and shit. You know what I'm saying? And all that. People are real tough behind the keyboards and all that. But yeah, I mean, again, and I'm 33, so I'm not fucking old, like, right? But I'm getting, you know what I mean? But yeah, like, shit, I turned pro at 19, so you know we're talking, 14 years, going on 14 years.
Yeah, we talked about that on our interview, man. I can't believe it's been 14 years that you've been fighting.
I'll say 14 years ago. Yeah, like I kind of, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's like you had to, you know, social media wasn't as big. It wasn't really nothing. I mean, like, you know, I mean, it was something, but nothing crazy. I think it was like still fucking MySpace was around or something like that.
Fuck,
you know what I'm saying?
You're taking it way back now.
So, you know what I mean? I remember a little bit past, a tad bit past. Instagram was probably, I don't remember, right? But yeah. So, but today, yeah, man, you got a lot of spoon fed. You got a lot of, I always tell people this. I gotta hold on. I always tell people this in boxing and in life. You're older than me, so you might understand this more than me. And I'm gonna say it. I think the worst drug in the world is the power of entitlement. Entitlement.
Yeah. Nah. You
the power of entitlement, and in today's day of boxing, it's too much. Do for me, and then when it's time to give that kickback, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, entitlement, because, you know, some fighters might see other fighters get treated a certain way. They may get, you know, they see, like, I get it all the time. Like, I got two people. I have three main fighters, right? Like, three main ones, and I have an OG, like DeCarlo Perez. But I have a kid, Gabriel Garina, who's 7-1. I got a young kid, Justin Palmieri, who's only 4-0, and Sasarito, and Manny Rodriguez. Manny Rodriguez is kind of like still up there, but Gabe and Justin, they got the world. I'm putting them on, and people just think, like, you know what I mean? Oh, you see Justin, you see me doing what I do for my guys, that I'm gonna do that for you. But if you're not my fighter, if I just don't fuck with you, stop feeling entitled, because you think, you know what I'm saying, shit is, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of venting a little bit, but it's just it's power of entitlement in today's day. Entitlement, I think, and definitely entitlement, because they see this turkey shit. They see the when PBC was pop locking, dropping the bread. They had, you know, obviously, like, Top Rank, they're not cheap, right? I mean, Matchroom just came in, dropping the bet. Yeah, so like now everybody can get that. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, you spitting facts, man. I mean, you family here, so you know you kept it real. The pussy shit was funny, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Shout out to you.
I'm just saying, like, man, come on, man, wipe that shit up and fuck out of here.
Listen, I totally get it. My man from Fight Hook News is in the building. What's going on, Jay Calderon? Bill is an OG. He shouldn't be acting this way and being in his feelings like this new generation of sensitive people. Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, everybody's sensitive, overly sensitive. It's the world that we live in, unfortunately. But, you know, that shit was pretty crazy.
So it's funny, right? I'm going to keep it real.
Always.
Gabe was more sensitive than fucking Bill, if you ask me, off the little clip I seen. It's like he's always like, Gabe got too much money, I think, to be fucking trying to prove his resume or like stick his chest out. You understand? Like, I don't know, especially like he sounded to me. I don't know if you know Gabe, if you like him or whatever, but like,
yeah, he cool. I mean, but I'm cool with everybody. I'm cool with everybody.
It just, but it kind of like half mind boggles me that I fought Quillen, I fought Jacob, I fought this guy, I fought that guy, I fought this guy, lost. I knocked out Bektemir. Okay, finally. Then I got beat the fuck up in the rematch, and then then I fought this. Like, he has a dope ass resume. That's awesome. But I'm not gonna. When I'm retired boxing, I'm not trying to go out there and tell people I fought Erisane Lara, and they see what the fuck happened, bro. What?
Yeah.
So Gabe to me, he a little bit too sensitive. Like, he's trying to prove too much, bro. You too rich for that, and Bill Haney too rich for that shit too, bro. You're a fucking multi-millionaire, man. Shut the fuck up, bro.
No, you're right. It did get crazy. The one thing I will tell you that I didn't like that Bill said was he brought up Gabe's father.
Oh yeah,
You
you
know,
can't do that. Yeah,
yeah.
no,
I
you
mean,
can't do
you
that.
know, he's a bastard, and you know, your father never worked with you. I mean, that was kind of uncalled for, and that
That's
kind of
fucked
just
up. Yeah, no.
and I don't think we were on the camera when he said that. We were for a while, and then Ness took us off and just let them two have their camera time. But when he said that, I was like, "Ooh, like wow, that's crazy." So
Yeah, no.
he later apologized. He later
But can I be
came back on.
can I be real though? I remember Gabe's father was in the gym. He was in the camp.
Yeah. Well, that's what
He was
he did say that.
involved.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he
was
did say
involved.
that.
He was
So
definitely involved. Yeah, now you don't listen. Obviously, you know what Bill and Devin did is
yeah,
top tier. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's
yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Okay, but yeah, nah, that's yeah. I mean, you don't cross the line. That's whack. That's mad
Yeah.
whack.
Yeah, I'm sure Garcia's laughing because he put that right out after you called today's generation pussies. So I'm sure that's what that's about. I'm here with my man Thomas Cornflake LaManna. He is in the building, man. And for those of you guys that are just tuning in right now, I had the technician Jamaine Ortiz on the show. The first, I want to say 25 minutes of the show. We did a nice little interview. He was a little bit pressed for time. I'm gonna get him back though. Once he gets a fight announced, you know, I'm gonna get him back up in here. You know, he's my people's, and we'll get him to come back and talk about his next fight and his future at 147. So if you guys were not here for that interview, make sure you check it out immediately after this live is over. This video will go right on to the YouTube channel, the Hangout Spot, and while you're there, tell somebody, call somebody, text somebody, and tell them to subscribe because this is how we doing it up in 2025. Champ, let's switch it up, man. We came here originally to talk about Saturday's fights. And we had some curveballs thrown at him. But this Saturday night, March 22nd, in Las Vegas, Michelob Ultra Arena, we got the return of Sebastian Fundora, the Towering Inferno. And this is
Did
going
you
to be.
Did you see that shit I posted today on my Instagram story?
Yeah, I'm actually, I wanted to tell my viewers, I'm actually here with Sebastian Fundora.
No, stop it,
Not
bro.
that one?
So when I seen that shit, I'm like, yo, and I got the
Bro,
glasses on.
he
And
looked just like you.
I was pissed, bro. I had to put it out. I was pissed off, bro. I got mad people laughing. I mean, you know,
this is nasty.
Yeah, no, that was nasty work. That was nasty. He looked just like me. It's crazy.
So I'm glad you put that out, right? Or you sent me. Did you send me a message and said this dude looks like?
I just put on my story like, yo, I swear to
You
God,
put
I thought
on your
that was
story. That's what I saw, and I'm said, man, I gotta text him because he's right,
That's
man. When
too
I
funny.
saw it, it reminded me of you.
That's so
Oh,
funny.
that shit was
Yeah,
classic, man. That shit was classic. But anyhow, man, we got Sebastian Fundora. This fight is actually going to be for unified title, WBC super welterweight and WBO super welterweight title. He's going to go against veteran Cordell Booker, who's 23-1, 11 knockouts. Sebastian Fundora hasn't fought since his split decision win against Tim Tszyu. That was in March of last year. Yeah, March of 2024, and that was an absolute bloodbath.
Yep.
You know, I think it was very entertaining. I don't know. I I always say this, man. I wish that Tim Tszyu didn't suffer the cut on the top of the head. Who knows how different that fight would have been?
Yep.
But nonetheless, Sebastian, did what he needed to do, and he won those titles, and now he's coming back a year later.
Yep.
Against Cordell Booker. Cordell is coming off a TKO in June of last year, so he's he hasn't been in the ring. He hasn't been in the ring since last June, so he's pushing. A couple more months will be pushing a year as well. But he's coming into this fight on a 6-fight win streak. His last loss was like in 2022 against Ammo Williams, who won this weekend. So shout out to him. And Towering Inferno's only loss was that brutal knockout loss to Brian Mendoza in 2023, and then he rebounded against Tim Tszyu. But talk to me about this fight. What do you see, and who do you like in this fight?
So I'm pulling for Cordell Booker. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I really like him. We had our history about, he was going around saying, the trash man. He was calling out mad people. I was on his hit list for a while, and it's cool.
Word.
I'll give you a funny story about Cordell and how again we was like, when I actually gave a fuck about people's opinions and like what they was saying, all that way back when. And he was going again, social media trash man. He was hilarious. It was hilarious. He's going around making memes, making pictures. He was doing it right. He was promoting. I get it, right? And I'm gonna bring it. I'm saying all this. I'll say something. Okay, I was getting ready for this is when I got the call to fight Lara, right? And I was like, all right, I need some southpaw work. I need some good southpaw work. I forget who he was getting ready to fight though. He was getting ready to fight somebody. I forget the name, but he was so at the time he was in camp with Tony Harrison. Like I remember, like because I reached out to him on the gram. I was like, yo, no funny shit. If you got iPhone FaceTime, I gave him my number. When you can. And he's like, all right. He hit me like within 5 minutes, say whatever it was, right? Again, we're going back a couple years. And he hit me, and it was like, yo, before anything, no funny shit. You know, you ain't gotta like me. You ain't gotta, you don't, whatever. I need you. I'm fighting Araceli Lara. And I need some work. This might be a good call. You may want to fuck me. I don't know. And honestly, bro,
You cut out. Cornflake, if you can hear me, you cut out. That there you go. Okay. I can't hear you now. All right, he's gonna have to jump back out and jump back in. I apologize. I apologize to my viewers for the technical difficulty in this show, but this is how it happens sometimes when you're on live. You know, you got to make adjustments and you got to go on the fly. Cornflake LaManna was giving us a story about him and Cordell Booker. Hopefully we can get him back on so he can complete that. But we were talking about Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora making his return, to the ring after a year layoff because he fought at the end of he fought at March of 2024. And now here we are in 2025, and he's finally defending those titles.
Can
we
you
got
hear
my
me?
man back. Yeah, I can hear you now.
My bad, bro. I got a damn call. We're on Do Not Disturb. All right, anyway. I was talking about when I spoke with Cordell, right? And
yeah, when you reached out to Cordell, yeah.
It was real brief. It was like kind of real, like, yo, no funny shit. Strictly like, yo, if you rocking, I'm rolling. I need some work. I got the Lara fight. And yo, that ass from that moment, it was like, yo, Flair, I'm like, yo, bro, I just be playing with this shit. I'm playing. I just be having fun. I'm not. And by the way, I think this was even before. Oh, I'm bugging. This is before the ammo fight, bro. Like he's just a promoter. I'm with it, right? Bro, I don't really, bro. I don't know you. I can't. How can I not like you? I'm just trying to get a fight. You know what I mean? You ain't. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, that's fair. That's cool. It's no personal shit. It's like, all right, cool. Unfortunately, we didn't end up. Logistically, it wasn't working out because he was in camp with Tony Harrison, and by the time he got done, I was done. I was getting ready to. I'm like, no more sparring. Okay, and so it didn't work out. But yo, it's funny, yo. Ever since that day, we just been mad tight. And I was just talking to him earlier this week. Like mad excited, like, yo, and the new, you gonna do this? Because he has a story like me, man. He kind of, I mean, he got one loss, I got 5, but like we had to, kind of. So I took it upon myself to start promoting my own shows and do all this, do all that. He was just, getting in where he could fit in. You know what I'm saying? Getting on spots on local shows, and he was with PBC for a while. I mean, I don't know if people even realize that he was with PBC for a minute. Early on, so like he ain't like new to, I guess, the PBC world, and he just kind of took what he can get, hustle, grind. He came up short against Ambo. Shit happens. Bounced back, 6 fight. You know what I mean? And listen, we all seen, bro. I fought Brian Mendoza. He can't punch. He got all them fucking muscles. He can't punch for real. Like I thought I beat him, by the way. And to see what he did to
a lot of people thought you won that fight. I think we talked about that the last time I had you.
Thank you. And so I can't, and honestly, like, by the way, he was losing every round, by the way, too, like, right? But he just got caught. Sebastian just got caught with a good shot. And he was losing. I mean, he was beating Mendoza.
Yeah,
right?
Boxing, yeah.
And then, boom. Like, it was just wild. So, Sebastian, to me, is very vulnerable. He's fucking huge, man. And it's like.
So, let me put something on the screen here now that you say that.
Yeah,
this
I saw
shit
that.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, when I saw that, and shout out to to PBC. Obviously, I'm on their media list, and they sent us a shitload of pictures from the weigh-ins, the workouts. This is straight from PBC photographer, but this is crazy, man. And
That
this
is
is
crazy.
why Sebastian Fundora, in my opinion, is a freak, man. Like, how do you fight a guy that's 6'8" with long arms? Now, I will tell you, and this has been my biggest criticism, on Fundora, is that he doesn't fight like his size. He should be boxing on the outside, using his reach. This dude fights like an inside phone booth fighter, like a Mexican.
He gonna fight you.
He gonna
I
fight
so
you.
look. I'll put you like this, right? Obviously, Cordell's not the favorite to win. Okay, like we all know that.
Right.
Okay, but listen, man. If there's a time, it's now. I think he knows. And the short little bit of conversations we had throughout the years, it's like he knows this is what it is. You know what I mean? And like he got to the pinnacle. He's fighting for a unified. You know what I'm saying? I believe the WBO is the interim. Is it interim or is it the regular?
No, I think that's the regular.
Oh, it's the regular now. Okay,
Yeah.
bet. So he's
WBO
fighting for
and WBC.
He's fighting for a unified junior middleweight. Bro, that's wild. And it's the green belt. I got WBA, but I love the green belt.
Yeah,
I love like
Me
green
too.
belt. Yeah,
It's
I'm
my
saying
favorite belt.
is like, so you got like one chance, man. And I think you know what I mean. I'm pulling for him. I'm rooting for him. Tall task, literally a tall task ahead of him. But you know what I mean. If the time is any time is now. And I'm rooting for Cordell. I'm rocking with Cordell. And you gotta take care of business. Chop that big ass tree down. He's a southpaw. He looks strong. I see him knock a couple people out. You know what I'm saying? We fought 2 or 3 of the same people, and he's hurt them more than I have. So you know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty sure he's strong. And yeah, man. So just utilize the skills, get on the inside, break his body down. We don't know what Sebastian is, bro. That last fight, keep in mind, bro, Sebastian's last 2 fights were rough.
Super rough. Yeah.
The knockout to Mendoza was bad. And then that rumble with Tim Tszyu, come on.
And let's not forget, even before that, even though he stopped Lubin, that fight was crazy between him and Erickson Lubin.
So 3 fights, 3 straight fights. That's nasty work, bro. Let's go back to Gabe Rosado for a minute. He was like that's what he was talking about. Like he was fighting back to back.
He did say that.
Bro,
yes, he did say that.
I feel that. And shout out to Gabe with that. That's cool. But let's talk about Sebastian. That's nasty. And so, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna message Cordell and be like, yo, homie probably not the same for real. I just realized that. That's 3 fights. Bad. Like that's some bad work. Like,
let me tell you something. I thought, and the reason why I said what I said earlier is if Tim Tszyu doesn't get cut on the head, I think Tim Tszyu beats him.
I thought he was picking him apart.
He was picking him apart the first round and a half. Yep, I thought I was saying to myself, he's gonna stop. He's gonna stop Fundora. And the cut on the top of the head changed the entire trajectory of the fight.
And so lost the split. Decision.
And exactly. And he fought his ass off. I had Stitch Duran on, I believe in December. We talked about that. And I brought up that cut. And he said that it was in a spot where if you're a good cut man, like he criticized their corner. If you're a good cut man, you're going to say, we can't stop this, because he said it's in a spot where it hit a vessel and you're not going to be able to stop it. It's only going to get worse. He would have pushed to get that stop before, so it could be a no contest. And this guy, obviously keeps his titles, and they can probably do it down the road. But either way, you got to give Tim Tszyu a lot of credit for fighting through that. But you could tell, wiping the blood out of his eyes, it was affecting him. He was getting hit with shots. So I like Fundora's his physical stature. I love the fact that he likes to fight. But I thought that he would have lost that fight. And I'm rooting for Cordell too. I love those type of stories, right? Now he's finally getting a shot, 33 years old. Nothing really came easy.
Yep.
So I'm rooting for him. And I'm rooting for him. Like, I'm rooting for him to win as well.
Yep.
But more importantly, I just want to see a really, really good fight. And then in the co-main event, you got young guy Elijah Garcia, 21 years old. I was super high. I am. I mean, I can't be what I criticize other boxing fans of being, right? Just because this kid lost one fight, we're ready to throw him out to the curb. But what I will tell you is I was egged out by that last performance. I don't know what it was. I don't know whether he didn't train properly. He just didn't look prepared. And this is no disrespect to Kyron Davis. He did his thing. He won. But I was so high. I guess what it was is I was so high on Elijah Garcia. And then he just absolutely gets dudded out. I mean, and so he's coming off that loss to Kyron Davis. He's 16-1, 13 knockouts. He's 21 years old, though. You know, he's got his whole career ahead of him. He's facing a tough veteran, man. This
is a tough fight, bro, to come back to.
Terrell Goucher, man, 24-4-1. He's been in there with great fighters, man. I mean, his last loss was to Carlos Adames, the WBC champion, but you know, a lot of people thought that fight was a lot closer, you know, than what it was. He's been in there with Lara, like you have, and Lubin, and I mean Austin Trout. He dropped Tim Tszyu. This is a tough task.
It's very, very tough.
What do you see?
I don't see Elijah getting past. I think Terrell Goucher got. I think that's a massive gap. That's a massive step.
Wow. Okay.
That's a massive step. I mean, Karan Davis, you know what I'm saying? Karan's mad, like, underrated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Super underrated. Bro, Terrell Goucher, he just got, bro, that's too much experience. And he's an Olympian. That's just way too much experience, man. And just for if Elijah Garcia, say, got through Kyron Davis and picked him apart, won a good, clean, won a clear decision because he outboxed him. He's a better guy. I don't think he wasn't going to stop Kyron, if whatever, right? But to go from that to then jump into Goucher with the momentum that's not on your side, I want to say, didn't he did he just switch trainers to what's his name?
So Elijah is now with Bob Santos.
Bob Santos? Okay.
Yeah, Bob Santos, good dude, man.
I'm sure he is, but like I don't know how much you could teach in one camp, bro, to fight Terrell Goucher, who again really good fighter. Olympian, 2-time world title challenger, lost a close fight to Adames, went the distance with Lara. Dropped Tim Tszyu. You know what I'm saying? Like that's bro. I think that's true up. I don't see Elijah. I mean, if he gets past him, then maybe Terrell's just maybe. I wouldn't say shot, but I don't see that. I don't see. I don't see it. I think. I just don't see it. I don't see it.
All right. I mean, Goucher's up there in years. He's 37. Yeah. That's not old, but in boxing years,
very old. Very old.
Yeah, you guys like live in dog years, almost with the way, obviously the wear and tear, that's a different type of wear and tear on your body. So, man, I feel the same about this fight. I give Elijah Garcia a lot of props for taking this fight after that last performance, but Champ, there's just something I see in this kid. I think he's going to be good. I want to say that was a wake up call.
I'm sure it was. No. So like, I'm sure it was. And by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if Elijah won though. Like, I'm not going to be shocked. Like, this is Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson, right? But like, nah. Like, I just think right now, coming off the loss, coming off the layoff, coming off your first fight with Bob Santos, to go in against a Terrell Goucher, who's a top class professional and's been there, done that. Yeah, that's rough work, man. But you want to know what's crazy? I don't know if we can screen record or it's going to go back. This is what I'll say, and this is the last time when we did the last interview where it really hit home to me about when Robert Garcia did that interview and basically said, why do we have to fight Russell? He's fucking rough, right? You know what I mean? Whatever. And Ryo was like, it's all they gave me. That's all they got. I swear to God, I guarantee. Well, no, let me stop. I call that. That'll probably be the same thing here. Like, it's all they gave me. I could almost guarantee you it's gonna be something like that. If Elijah loses,
Yeah.
Obviously, he's not gonna go out and be wins and whatever. He's gonna be like, "Yo, that's all they gave me, so I had to take care." No, fuck, no, they won't. Okay, so I could definitely 100% see that if I can't be the only person in the world that thinks this is a horrible fight to come back to, though.
No. I agree. When I said that, when I saw this fight originally, I'm like, oh, okay.
That's
I mean,
that's a good fight, and that fight's been that fight's been talked about for a while. You have to remember, like they were gonna push me and Jamal Charlo back to this card. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I know about that for a while. I was like, ooh, it's a good fight. I thought it was actually gonna be the headliner, and then because that's when the whole Earl Spence Fundora thing fell apart.
This fight was supposed to be the headliner in
Caribe Royale, right?
Caribe Royale, like in February or something, or in January, something like that. I think January, February, and then all of a sudden they pushed it back. So I remember because I live in Caribe. That's my second home.
Yep.
I do all the fights there. So I'm gonna go age, man. I'm gonna go with the young guy. I think he learned some. I like.
Hold on, time out. Babe, when are we going to? When are we going to Florida again? Oh yeah, I just forgot. I'll be there in April 16th. Yeah, for like the whole week we're staying there.
All right, man. Let's hook up. Where you staying? In Central?
Caribe Royale.
Oh yeah,
I love it, bro. Shout out to Armadi, bro. They great people. Great dude, man. He's one of a kind. I'm gonna go to that fight. I think they have a card that weekend, whatever it is.
So you're gonna be there for the April 18th card?
Correct. I'll be there. Yep.
Nice. I'm ordering. Yep. Yeah, I'm getting the cred for that fight, obviously. Yep. So I'll see you there. But let's hook up before that. Let's hook up.
Facts.
Right.
But go ahead. I was just dawned on me. But yeah.
No, that's dope. That's good news. I love to hear that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Elijah. You're going with Terrell. One more fight that I just want to touch on because this is a big card. I mean, this is basically the card here. There's a lot of fights on this card. It's a sneaky good card, but again, not a lot of big names. I am interested in seeing Jersey Vargas, the undefeated Dominican 4-0 in a lightweight fight. I like him so far, but again, he's young, he's raw. And you also have Jesus Ramos, who is shout out to him, man. He fought in February, and here we are back in March. And he fought a tough guy. I mean, Jason Rosario is, one of Bob Santos' guy.
Can I be honest, bro? Moto. So a couple years ago, I was in camp with Moto he was getting ready for Sergio Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the fight. So it's funny. Nothing happened. I didn't do nothing. I didn't fucking hurt him. He didn't fight that fight. He got hurt in sparring me. He hit me with a body shot and fucked his hand up. I didn't touch me. He didn't hurt me, but and fucked his hand up. So can I be honest with you, bro?
Absolutely.
They are probably hands down, and I don't know if you heard it or whatever. They are the nicest, the best fucking people in the world. Mono, his dad, Ramos, his dad, his whole family. He has a bomb ass gym in Casa Grande, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
It's dope. It's just dope. I loved it there. Mono he's a really down to earth, good dude. They're great people. So look, whoever he's fighting, I'm sure he's gonna beat the piss out of. So, but I love his activity. And they're doing it right. They're doing it. Was he at 54? I mean, who are they gonna set him up with? I could see them setting him up. I don't know.
So there's a fight that I want at 154, and I'm glad that he so shout out to him as well, because that last fight in February he fought at 160.
Yeah,
but immediately after that fight with Jason Rosado, he said, I'm going back down to 154.
Yeah,
and I was happy because the fight that I want to see him in is against Xander Zayas. That's a fight that I want to see him against.
Yeah. I mean, I think eventually now with the way Turkey's coming in and like whatever, and Top Rank really evidently not having a network, and I mean, not that PBC has the best network, but it's more likely to happen then. Yeah, for sure. I could see maybe don't be surprised if it's backroom and not backroom. I think they're gonna try to save that. Well, no, see, I think Tim Tszyu is gonna do the whole Keith Thurman thing.
Yeah, I think that'll probably be next. Keith Tim Tszyu is fighting Joey Spencer next. If he wins, I think that's a done deal.
Yeah. So don't be surprised. PBC is tied with Backroom. They PBC kept Backroom fighting all them years when Charlo wouldn't fight him. I guess we see why. I mean, it's way too much risk for no reward. And yeah, so I mean, they got a plan for Moto. I don't know what I mean, but I wish him the best because he's good dude, strong too, and he don't fight like a Mexican. He fights like a black guy who's a Mexican. It's wild.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, no racist shit. It was just you got the styles and say he fights like he don't fight like a typical come forward brawl out with you Mexicans. It's, what I mean.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, I'm rooting for him. I think he'll win this fight. I mean, I don't know a lot about Guido Schramm.
But who did I feel like Guido? Who did Guido fight like recently? That's a name. Like I felt like it was with somebody that
his last fight, he's coming off a knockout loss in the 6th round against Vladimir Hernandez.
Vlad Hernandez. Yeah. That was on either Pro Box. Was it Pro Box? Yeah, it was. Right? That's what I remember.
Saturday too, because Pro Box has a card on Saturday, I believe, in California.
Yeah.
So he's fighting on Vladimir Hernandez is fighting on that card. Guido Schramm is coming off that knockout loss. So I like Jesus Ramos in this fight to win. I'm saying stoppage and move on to bigger and better things at 154, and hopefully a shot at my guy. I'm a Xander Zayas guy. He's a good dude. I've interviewed him
for sure.
And I'd love to be able to get Jesus Ramos on as well, man, because he seems like a really good guy. If you vouch for him, then that means he's good people.
He's they're good down to earth people. They real good down to earth people. Yeah, so if you ever want that, I could definitely put you in touch with Jacob, his main manager, Asa Luisito. But I mean, it can be done, no problem.
Yeah, we'll make that happen. We'll talk. But yeah, man. So I'm not gonna go through every fight in the card. Like I said, I put it up. There's a lot of good fights. That's Saturday PBC. It's putting together this card. It's not on pay-per-view. It's on Amazon Prime. So if you have a subscription, it's free. Make sure you check it out. I don't know if Ness is doing a live fight chat. He probably will. If he does, I may jump on that live fight chat if I'm home. If not, we'll figure it out. But then another fight that I wanted to touch on is in Australia, 140. You got George Ferocious Kambosos, main event in Australia, his hometown. And he's fighting in basically an eliminator here because I spoke to and I interviewed Richardson Hitchens, the IBF champion at 140 in Caribe last week, and he basically told me that if Kambosos wins, he's getting he'll be the next opponent more than likely in New York City at some point either late June or early July. George Kambosos is a guy that continues to get shots. It's crazy to me. He has a great team around him. And I'm going to be real. I don't knock fighters. You know that. But there's something about George Kambosos, man, that just, I don't know. It irks me. I don't know whether it's the way he talks or whatnot. But
very cocky and arrogant. So I'll be honest, right?
Yeah, it rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I think honestly, and maybe I should say that. Yeah, I do think he's a bit overrated.
Yeah.
But either way, listen, 21-3, 10 knockouts. He's a guy, in my opinion, and I said this to a couple of my boys. Shout out to Four Corners Boxing and the Boxing Maniac.
Yep.
We've said this on numerous occasions that
I'm here. I ain't going nowhere. I'm here.
Yeah. I've never seen a fighter benefit out of one night more than he has, because then after that night against Teo, and trust me, I'm not taking anything away from him. I just feel like that was a night of the ages and, not a good night for Teo. I think if they fought 10 times, I think Teo beat him 9 out of 10 times. This is my opinion.
Yep.
But nonetheless, he did what he needed to do. He won the undisputed titles. And then after that, I mean, I don't even think he's won a fight after that. Yeah, he did beat Maxie Hughes on the scorecards, but I thought he lost that fight. A lot of people thought he lost that fight. He got beat against Haney twice in Australia. He got stopped against Lomachenko. And here we are against Jake Wiley. So this guy wasn't the guy he was supposed to be fighting. The guy that he was supposed to be fighting had to pull out. They get this kid, 24 years old. He's 16-1, 15 knockouts, so he's got some pop. But and he has 8 stoppages, in his last 9 fights. His last fight was a no contest, had to be stopped because of headbutts. So he's actually coming in with momentum. Meanwhile, George Kambosos is coming off a defeat last June against Lomachenko, where he got stopped. So I don't know,
So
man. You tell me about George Kambosos. What's your thoughts on him, man? And I don't know a lot about Jake Wiley, so I'm going to pick Kambosos, obviously.
yeah, for sure. So that's why, honestly, this is what I think we should do. I think we should really give a guy like what's his name, George Kambosos, who's totally full of himself. He's made an substantial amount of fucking money. You know what I mean, throughout his career. You know what I mean, high into the 8 figures. You know what I mean, well worth over 8 figures now. Right, like well over 8 figures. You know what I'm saying, bro? When he beat Teofimo, he fought Devin twice. He had a crazy rematch. I mean, like, yeah, like he's full of himself. That's cool. Listen, whatever. But I also heard he fucked his manager over, fucked his trainers over. He had the same trainer as Xander, right? He did.
Yeah. One
He
point, but he
did.
switched trainers, right? I mean,
but he switched after fucking them over, not paying them.
wow.
And
Yeah. That's right. You're right. I remember that.
Yeah. So like, I don't want to like that. You know, I'm not gonna.
Shout out to you.
I'm not gonna. Well, no, and so I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just saying, like, everybody's heard about it.
Story, though, right?
And I don't know. Anyway, think he messed. From what allegedly he didn't. He fucked over his manager, the trainer, whatever have you. I think he tried getting over Ludabella. I don't know. I don't. I'm just, everything's allegedly. So if you do that, you're a piece of shit. You're a scumbag. That's it. That's that. Done. Okay. So yeah, he's probably gonna beat this dude, whoever he is. I'm more excited about Sky Nicholson and Tiara Brown.
Mm-hmm. I was just.
I'm more excited about Eddie Hearn's side piece and Tiara Brown than anything. So that's
the worst unkept secret, right? What did he say?
The word, no, it's just, you know what I mean. Look, I don't know. Look, I'm not gonna get personal, but whatever. Yeah, Tiara Brown. Listen, Tiara Brown. I recall having some conversations with her and her team about having her fight on some of our DC cards we were doing. We had a series in Washington DC a couple years ago, Rising Star, and we obviously couldn't make nothing happen because I guess it just didn't make sense. I don't remember, but shout out to her. She got in. She got the fight. Sky, and shout out to Sky too. You know what I'm saying? I just hope Tiara, you know what I mean, takes full advantage of the moment.
Yeah,
ain't nothing like fighting for a world title, man. And you take full advantage of that moment. Yep. So, but Sky's pretty fucking good. Good boxer, good IQ, southpaw. Was she Olympian? I think was she Olympian? Don't hold me. Don't hold me to it.
Not 100% sure.
Yeah, like whatever. So like she was good, really good amateur.
Yeah, really good amateur. Yeah.
So
great amateur pedigree.
That's rough work, real rough work. And so I'm more excited about that. I don't know who else is fighting, right? But I'm more excited about that. I'm real cool with Britain, Harden at OTX. So I'm really, really excited for him. Happy for him. He's getting someone to fight for the world title finally on the OTX thing. With OTX. So yeah, man. Also Saturday, one of my close brothers, a stablemate of mine, we got the same manager, Kurt Scooby, is fighting off OTX on that DAZN card in California. So it's OTX is gonna have a good weekend, really good weekend. And I hope that I'm pulling for Tiara to come home with that belt.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's the card for my viewers there. Again, a lot of names that I'm not familiar with. There is another women's title fight. You got right before Sky Nicholson, you got Trinica Johnson against Nina Hughes for the WBA World Bantamweight title.
Yeah.
And the ladies don't disappoint. And I agree with my man Cornflake. I am looking forward to that co-main more than the main event. Sky Nicholson can beat people with a jab.
Sure.
Basically, I mean, she's done it before. She doesn't have any pop really, but when you can fight and you can move like that, against ladies, I mean, you're going to win fights. But yeah, Tiara Brown, man, 18-0, she got pop, man. So this is another Cordell Booker situation, right? They're getting that opportunity and hopefully they can make the most of it. I'm rooting for Tiara Brown as well. I think Sky Nicholson would outbox her though. because she's not going to engage. She's going to stay on the outside and she's going to continue to just pick and pick and pick with that jab. And unless Tiara can get in the inside and hurt her with something, I just think he moves way too much. It's going to be hard, for her to do that. So I'll pick Sky Nicholson, but I am rooting for Tiara Brown. And shout out to you for calling out Scooter on OTX. And shout out to my man Akeem Reyes. I actually had him on the show on Tuesday. Great interview, man.
Right.
Great interview. Ak and Barack. They got a new show, Ring Champs, that's out. Ring Champs with Ak and Barack on the All the Smoke Fight channel. That's with Andre Ward, Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes. So they're doing their thing, man. So for my viewers, if you did not get a chance to see that interview with Akeem Reyes, check it out. It was Tuesday. It's on the Hangout Spot. It's about the 57-minute mark because he showed up a little bit late for our interview, but nonetheless, he showed up and he gave me a good hour.
That's dope.
And it was a great interview. Gave me insight on how he moved up in the game, and that inspired me because this is exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to move up, in this game as well. So I left that interview even more motivated, to make it work. But yeah, man. So it's gonna be a lot. There's a lot of boxing, and then also you got Pro Box. Pro Box for my viewers. I'll put this up on the screen real quick. You got Lester Martinez, who's undefeated, 100 and super middleweight, 168-pound Lester Martinez is undefeated, 18-0, 11 knockouts. He's from Guatemala. He's fighting against another undefeated guy, Joshawn James, in the main event. Then you got Vladimir Hernandez, who we just spoke about, a little while ago, coming off a knockout victory against somebody that is fighting on the other fight card. He's going up against Isaias Lucero. You also have Kelvin Davis, who's going to be on that card, who is the younger brother of Keyshawn Davis. So and shout out to Pro Box, because Pro Box,
I love what Pro Box does.
They're family. They're family to me. I mean, they show me love. I work all the Pro Box cards when they were in Florida. Now they're not going to be fighting in Florida all that much. They're taking their show on the road. They actually outgrew the venue in Plant City, because they're getting that much, that popular. And I knew that was going to happen. I mean, Gary Jonas, the CEO of Pro Box, he has a business plan. He has a business plan to make Pro Box grow. And if you watch Pro Box, for my viewers, they put together 50-50 style fights. So you're going to see fights. You're not going to see guys that are going to run. They want guys that are going to go in there and mix it up. So even if you don't know the names, I tell people this all the time, and especially me working fights, even if you don't know the names, you are going to get enjoyable fights that you're going to love to watch, that you're going to want to watch again. And you never know who's going to show up at Pro Box. I've met so many different fighters and trainers because they show up to Pro Box. They got fighters on the card, or they show up to show love because they're in Florida. So shout out to Pro Box. They're going to be doing it up a lot of boxing over the weekend. And one more thing that I want to touch on before I let you go, or before I wrap it up, is they're saying that Tank and Roach, the rematch, is almost a done deal for June 21st. So, which I was happy about, because originally after the fight, when Tank was interviewed in the presser, he said, yeah, I can fight him, but it'll be somewhere down the road. It won't be anytime soon. So I'm like, oh, here we go. You got controversy. Why not just run it back? Rumor has it that the reason why is because if Tank would have won, they would have tried to set up an exhibition bout with Jake Paul. That was the rumor. It was reported by Dan Raphael and Nestor Gibbs on the Boxing Voice. My brother, he talked about it this morning. Forget about it. The callers went crazy with that, right? But whatever. And it happened. We had a draw, controversial, with the whole knee, Gervonta Davis, the grease in his eye, the song that came out. I mean, there's all kind of shit going on. So the rematch, hopefully, is going to be announced shortly. Are you excited about that rematch? And what do you think happens?
Yeah, so I'm definitely excited for the rematch. It was a good fight. I think Tank will wake the fuck up and get it done. But I was happy for Lamont. I mean, he changed his life. Put on a great performance. He got fucked, in my opinion, on that thing with the knee and whatever. So, yeah, I mean, look, it's gonna be a great event. So, I'm always down for boxing. I mean, every time Tank does a fight, hopefully they could build a nice undercard, and Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I'm all for boxing. You know what I'm saying, I'm them. I'll pay the $80, $90 for the pay-per-view. Right, I'm there. I'll enjoy myself. We'll chill. Um, yeah, and so I'm with it. I think, like I said, I think Tank will wake up and get it done, but it won't be easy for sure. And Lamont showed that, so it won't be easy. And I won't be surprised if Lamont if he shows the fuck up. He wins, by the way.
Well, he's
I
gonna
just
be
think
more confident.
Yeah, I just think, and he was already confident, like OD going in. So I just think Tank knows like that he has much more right now and much more to lose. It's like, yo, don't fuck it up. Like, I'm a superstar. I can't be fucking around. I just think, just based off of what's the word? The character. It's like, oh shit, I gotta wake up because I'm gonna fuck the bag up.
So I love it. But there was a method to my madness here because I wanted to kind of slide this in. So if that fight gets announced June 21st, do we get Cornflake against Charlo on the undercard?
Can I be honest with you?
You're gonna no,
which I don't care. Can I be honest with you?
Talk to me.
They called me 2 days ago for May 24th for Charlo.
What? What card is that?
I don't know. I think Caleb Plant. I think Caleb Plant.
Okay, so they called you. So what's going on? Are we making that happen? Or
I'm working on some other shit. But I'll know. I'll make a decision Monday.
So when you make that decision, you gonna come back on?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We'll get it done.
You're always welcome, man. Like you're always welcome.
We'll get it done. Yeah, man. But yeah, they called a couple. It was 2-3 days ago. Louis called me. So it's yeah, man. I don't know. So I mean, I'm not gonna go into like what was talked about. It's just
yeah, for sure.
We'll see what happens, man.
Well, thank you for sharing that. You didn't have to. You look at my man Garcia, who's in the chat, is like the fire emoji.
Yeah. So man. So you never know. But I'm working on it. I mean, God willing, this is big. Another big thing. With a big name, and even bigger for East Coast. You know what I mean, and the tri-state. It will be pretty big for the tri-state. So.
Okay, Johnny got the well. Hey, listen, I appreciate my man Cornflake for putting me on. Whatever it is that's big, man, you got to come up in here. You got to talk about it once it's official.
Yeah, man. Nah, for sure. I hope. I mean, every day we try working on it. So
that's what's up.
We're getting there. But listen, man. At the worst case, I end up fighting Charlo in May. Whatever. So it is what it is.
Listen, that's not worst case for me. That's a fight that I wanted to see when it was first announced. I'm telling you, when we spoke about it on the Boxing Voice, we were crushed when we found out that that Charlo had pulled out. I think Ness had got you on to talk about it. Before that, I wasn't on that show. I looked back. Remember you said you thought I was. It wasn't me.
Yeah. No, it
wasn't. I'm like, wait, was I? And I don't freaking remember.
No, you weren't.
No. But yeah, so I wasn't on there. But then all of a sudden it fell apart. We're like, oh man. So hopefully that happens. But man, if you got something bigger in the works, then
I think it's bigger. Yeah, I think it's bigger. I think it's bigger.
I'm all for it, bro. I'm you're my guy. I'm supporting. You know the deal.
Thank you, man.
You're my guy. So yeah,
you'll like what we're working on too. You'll like it better, I think, than Jamal Charlo.
Facts. Now you're gonna.
I'll give you three chances. I'll give you 3 guesses, and I might say yes or no if you get it.
At 160.
At or around 160. Yeah.
Oh man, nah. See, you caught me off guard. No, because he got a fight already. Shane Mosley Jr. got a fight already.
Nope, that's one.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, you won't get it. That's why it's gonna come. You'll know though. I mean, like you'll know. You'll kind of be like, it's good for the tri-state.
See that's where you're gonna have me thinking at night. Like I got to figure this out because it's definitely got to be either a New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut fighter.
Tri-state is Jersey.
I'm sorry. Yeah, New York, New Jersey, and what's the other one? New York,
Pennsylvania, Delaware. right? I don't know if Delaware is technically Pennsylvania,
Delaware.
Delaware.
It's New York, New Jersey. I thought it was New York, New Jersey, and what's the other one?
Pennsylvania
It might
or
be
Connecticut. I don't know.
I
All
thought it
right,
was
well,
Connecticut. I thought it was Connecticut, but
all right. So Connecticut, Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania. I mean, yeah, whatever. Those 4.
when you know, just text me because you're driving me crazy. I'm gonna be thinking about this shit. Like I gotta.
It's one of those 4. It's one of those 4, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still drawing a blank, so
yeah, it's crazy.
We'll figure it out, and then we'll get you back up in here and we'll talk about it. But like I said, it doesn't even have to be fight announcements. I love having you on so we could chop it up and break down fights and stuff like that. So you're a regular, you know your family. I'm glad you're coming to Florida so we can hook up.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
by that time, 100%, it will be done. I pray it's done next week.
Good. That's what I'm talking about, man. But yeah, man. So I appreciate your time.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, thanks for jumping on. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, and I'll text you. We'll be in touch.
All right, cool. All right, bro. Thank you.
All right, man. You got it, man. Thank you, man. There you have it, man. Thomas Cornflake LaManna, my guy. You know, middleweight contender, WBO gold middleweight champion, 39-5, 1 draw, 18 knockouts in the building. Wow. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Mile High Hustle, what's going on? Wow. Okay. Damn. I wish I would have saw this when I had my man on, man. That would be big. He would be right, and you would be right because I'm a huge Danny Garcia fan as well. You know, so maybe they can make that happen. Nah, Garcia thought he said he was gonna say Lara rematch. No, he didn't say that. You thought he was gonna say that. I don't know. Yeah, I think they got Lara lined up with somebody else, if I'm not mistaken. Damn, I forget the name, but either way, man, I love seeing LaManna, my guy Cornflake fight. If it be against Danny Garcia, that'd be pretty crazy. That'd be pretty dope, man. You got two guys that I admire a lot. So I'd be split, man. I'd probably try to hit up that fight and get a cred, man, to be honest with you, man. But no, man, this was an excellent, amazing show because it started out with the technician, Jamaine Ortiz, and I wasn't even expecting to have him on. You know, I've been trying to get him on, and obviously I saw him this weekend. You know, I was there live for his victory at Caribe Royale. He's going to be a major player at 140. He's fighting for Box Lab now, and he said that he's looking for a title eliminator, hopefully in the summer, and then a title shot later on in the year. Hopefully they can make that happen. 140-pound division is absolutely crazy. So I had the technician, Jamaine Ortiz, title contender. He was on. If you did not see that interview, make sure you check it out. As soon as this is over, it will be right on the Hangout Spot YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe. Tell somebody else to subscribe and tell them to tell somebody else to subscribe, man, because in 2025, we're looking to take this to the next level and get all the top interviewers. So we had Cornflake LaManna on, breaking fights down with me and giving me some exclusive news, potentially a Charlo fight or somebody else in the tri-state area. Somebody said in the chat, Mile High Hustle, appreciate you. Like I said, you said Danny Garcia. Maybe it's Danny Garcia. Either way, you know, I know Cornflake's going to text me as soon as something is announced, and we'll get him back up in here to talk about it. But it was a great show. Like I said, we had two great guests, you know, the technician Jamaine Ortiz and Thomas Cornflake LaManna, breaking down the fights of this weekend. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. You know, hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. We got my man Ryan Frazier, Boxing Talk Up North. Salute. Salute, my brother. I saw you this morning with Ness. You know, you're my guy. Make sure you guys follow Boxing Talk Up North with my man Ryan Frazier as well. We do some good stuff. I have him come on the show from time to time so we can break down fights. So you guys will see him back very, very soon. Garcia, good show, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. This was a great show, man. Like I said, I don't oftenly get two guests at this, you know, on the same show, but you got to make adjustments. Like I said, I've been wanting to get Jamaine Ortiz up in here for a minute. So as soon as he texts me, 10 minutes before the show started, I was like, just jump on, man. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. He was a little pressed for time. You know, originally he had said he'd give me 15 minutes. He stood on almost a half hour. So it was a great interview. Make sure you check it out. I'll throw some shorts out in the channel as well. You know, so so we can keep the group updated. Now, next week, though, I will be traveling for work. I will be traveling for work, so I will not be doing a Tuesday show, unfortunately, man. And I'm bummed out over it because I don't like missing my shows. But I will be back next Thursday. And remember, I was supposed to have WBO President Gustavo Oliveri on a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, he's had some conflicts. Well, we just text back and forth today. I'm going to get him on next Thursday. So the WBO president will be in the building with me next Thursday, Gustavo Oliveri. So make sure you tune in next Thursday. And then I'm probably going to do a Friday show. Right now, I'm trying to get Omari Jones, the Olympic bronze medalist who just won his pro debut at Caribe Royale this Saturday by second round stoppage. I'm talking with his people. If I can get him to come on Friday, then I'll do my 2 shows. I'll do Thursday and Friday. And then Friday, I'll have Omari Jones on. But I'll have more information on that right before Thursday's show, because right before Thursday's show, I will know more or less if I'm going to have him on. And if you're not following me on IG, make sure you do. That's why I update my stories. I put my shorts out. I put links on all my interviews, and I update, my followers on who I'm going to have in the show. So follow me on IG, support the Hangout Spot channel on YouTube. Tell somebody else to subscribe. We got to get some more subscribers on this train so we can get the bigger and better interviews for you. And last but not least, you know the deal. I appreciate all of y'all in the chats. Last thing, Square Circle Fighters. I just want to give a shout out to my man, MB, Mr. B from MB Productions, for hooking me up with this t-shirt. My guy, Mr. B, I was chopping it up with him on Saturday at Caribe Royale. He blessed me with this t-shirt. This is his company, man. He's managing fighters now. Square Circle Fighters in New York City. Make sure you check out my man, Mr. B, on IG, man. He does it all, man. I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for the shirt and the love this past weekend. And more importantly, for all my chat members and subscribers and supporters, I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart. Make sure you enjoy the fights this weekend. And as always, this is your boy Johnny signing out from the Hangout Spot Live, and I'll see you guys next Thursday. Make sure you tune in. Peace.